Hello everyone, this is Alireza. As I promised at the end of our first iteration, I was going to show you how I make my icons. So I have two Photoshop files. Let them open. Okay. And not copy. Okay, it opened it. Okay. So for the icons, let me remove these guys. The very first I done was that I got a screen capture of my Unity desktop, and holy crap, these guys are big. There we go. I got my color from this position, this dark gray. Okay, and you see these are the same. Then if you look, my borders are a bit dented. It's like embossed. The way I done it was, I don't need anything to do with you anymore in this episode. The way I done it was that I highlighted the top and left border and bottom and right border to dark. Pay attention that top right and bottom left are dark color. Okay, so that's our background for this guy. And if you notice, I'm using the same background for the nodes. Okay, then I made no, sorry, this is the node. Okay, so for the node I made the outer border all dark, the inner border all light. After that I had this guy and this guy and this guy. And by the way, my nodes are opaque, has opacity. So if you look, I just highlighted the inner border to orange, okay? And again, this guy has 75% opacity. So this is how my border is working. Then I thought to myself, you know what? This is not cool. This is good for the node, but if you look, my nodes are rounded. So how did I make them? This was my first try on the node, and I said it's not cool, I want rounded borders. And well, I made this guy. Of course, this is the let me hide this guy. Okay, this is the final highlighted one, but the way I done it was that I made a new layer. I went into the round rectangle shape. I put that borders guidelines like that, and I draw from here down to here. Okay, then as you see, it asks for the feathering. I think I used 10. I used I'm not sure, maybe 6 or 3. So maybe 6. Yeah, 6. Okay, then for the border I chose for this guy I chose this, I think. And for the border, oh yeah, border is too big. Okay, so I made the border 1.5 pixel, I think. Yeah, and that was the outer border. Then I wanted an inner border, so for that I had to zoom in and make something like that. There, I think I used 1 pixel, but this is just for demonstrations. So I made another border, another layer on top, and I draw another one. And this time, again, 1.5 pixels for this, but I chose the border like this or a gray. Okay, so this was for highlight. Of course, it's too big one. So I had a highlighted border for the indent. Just, you see, it's barely visible, but it's there. Okay, And then when I wanted to make it highlighted, well, guess what? I added a layer on top of this that is again 2 layers inside each other, like these two. Okay, but in this case, was it this guy? Yeah. In this case, I chose an orange and I went to 21. So I filled inside. And then I changed the opacity, for example, to 50. So it's highlighted. And I got the active border like that. As you see, I started 1 pixel in instead of 2 pixels. And then I added these, where was that? Remove these guys that I added. So I had this guy that has opacity of 50. So the original has opacity of 100. The overlay for the active has 50. And I not only use these two for the node itself, but also for this occupation. Okay, so I had another one for the occupation somewhere. I think I deleted it anyway. But as you see, I have this guy. This guy is being used for later on. I just went ahead of myself. And for example, if you look at this guy, it has that orange border. Okay, not orange, magenta border. And I had another one with green border. Okay, those are for the time that the node is being selected at runtime, or it's being bugged and errored out at runtime for you call it behavior tree. So when it failures, it will come to an orange purple state. If it's success, it goes to green state. Okay, so after that, I had my buttons. For buttons, I used the same background. I went and found some textures on web, and I reduced the size. I didn't even bother to remove those hash mark water signs, and because it was reduced to the size, it was okay. The layer itself is hard overlight. Sometimes it's soft overlight, soft light like that, and it has bevel and emboss, and has opacity of 52, and that's the normal state. For hover state, I duplicated this background layer and I changed its color so that it's a bit brighter, and I put it below the icon. Okay, so this guy, however, is not used. So normal hover. Then I had, for example, the plus, the float, the others, this guy combined to this guy used for unload, this guy for clear, and that was it. Now, what is the job of this guy? If I remove everything, this guy, that is pure white, pure light gray. Well, if you move your editor preferences from professional to personal, this is this color. Okay, and right now you get an error because, well, you will get tons of warnings that says we are not finding, as you see, the custom skins, because I need to delete this guy, I need to duplicate this guy and rename it to light skin, and it will work. But take a look, this is not a good editor anymore, at least in my opinion. It's not a good contrast between these two. Now, if I so want to make it indent, I will select this color. I will make it a lot darker like that. I will select this row. I will fill it, and I can't do that because There, fill it, thank you, and fill that, and again get the color and make it lighter, and select the top row, fill that, select this top row, plus that one pixel, fill that, and save it as PNG. Inside first iteration, assets, node editor, no, resources, textures, and editor. And here we had that view back normal dark. Now it's view back normal light. Okay, and already exists. No. Oh, I had it. Okay. Save or it. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So if I come back to my Unity now, inside this guy, in my customs, I have these, and I can choose that view normal light, view normal light, and you suddenly see that it's showing up nice and more close to the Unity's color scheme now. Okay, there we go. And of course I need to do now the buttons, because the buttons has different layout, but I would say this is more like this version of editor. What is the null reference I'm getting? God damn it. Okay, so now I have to go in and do this for everything. But well, let's see. If I add load, and if I want my, no, not that, I said duplicate layer, and not delete, duplicate please. Okay, and oh, look at here, I ruined it. No pixels, plus this guy, and fill. Control D, Control D. So now I have to first, okay, why not, you are working, well, delete this layer please, and in this layer duplicate layer, and now I will adjust, add a layer adjustment for brightness and contrast. I will change the brightness a bit and the contrast a bit. Okay, now this is my merge visibles. Be sure that these guys are the only visibles. Yeah, and merge visibles. So this is my load. I'm not happy with the load. I will select and go into image adjustment, levels, and I think I can tweak the level like this. Yeah. Okay, so if I highlight it, I get this guy. So I will save this guy as PNG, and this is the load. So assets, node editor, resources, textures, editor, and this is the load graph dark. This will be load graph light, and yes, and save as PNG here, resources, textures, editors, over, and this is light. Okay. Now that I have those two buttons, I can show you these buttons at least. So this was the load graph, and we have the light version, and we have the light over version. So now you see that it's behaving, okay? And I can go on and do the rest for these guys between the two episodes. But let me show this output section for you. It's this guy. And if I remove the opacity to 100, the way I did this guy was that I created a new one. Instead of 32, I made it 64 by 64. Okay. Then I added a layer. I deleted the original. I changed the color to dark something. I added the borders. But not only there, I added two borders for the center, and it snaps to the center in Photoshop. And I activated my tool. I draw this guy. And then I chose this section, Control C, and came back and pasted it here. So if I paste it, you see that it's the same stuff. Okay? Didn't get the Control C, I think. I rasterized it, rasterized layer. So Control C and Control V. And as you see, they sit almost on top of each other. Almost. Okay? So then I changed the, and the reason is that I chose 3 here and 6 here. Then I chose the opacity to be 30% and 30%. Yoo-hoo. I said 30. Told you? Okay, so this is the border, and I saved them as different names inside my first iteration: assets, Unity editor, resources, textures, editor, and those are these guys: center, lower, right. And for the center, by the way, for the center I chose this part. So I came from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And you see that it snaps because it won't snap here, but it snaps there because it's the center of the selection. So if I select it here, it will snap to the center of the selection. And then, for example, if I so want to, I can snap it there, but I didn't need that one. So I just selected this portion, and this became my center piece. Okay, and I just saved them as different PNGs like that. So if you follow these steps, you should be able to make your own system. For example, now that I have icons, if I hide this guy, if I move my highlight to top of these two layers and I activate it, I suddenly have my selected node border. Okay, so I can save it as PNG, node editor, project, not project settings, where am I? Editor, resources, textures, editor, and I have this guy as node connection active. Node selected, and I will call it light. I should add a dark to that guy anyway. So here, for example, I have node selected, and I can choose that node selected light. Okay, so if I select a node, it suddenly shows that light. But the reason that you don't see the node properly yet is that node default is that node back normal, and for node back normal I don't have any overload. For time being I will use view back normal light. Okay, and why are you not showing up? Huh. Create a float node. Oh, there we go. Now it's because you had to select it first. Okay, so you see that I lose the feathering because of the image I chose, but bottom line is that I can now easily tweak these guys. For example, instead of using that, well, I need to make this guy again, but let me see. Control A. Image, adjustment, brightness and contrast, make it bright. No, it won't work. Okay, so I need to change, make my featherings now. So let's do it right now. Control D, create a right rectangle from here to here, and that feathering helps me to see. So I used what, 3 maybe? That's too much. 6 maybe? Yeah. Okay. And the border is 1.5 pixel, 0.5. And now I can hide this guy. What am I having? I don't need that. So for the color that is inside, I need to select the color. So select this color, please. And now this guy, your selection tool, select. Border is what? Can't I select it? That color, I think. No. Border is dark, center is light. Something like that, okay? And then I simply add a new layer on top. And let me zoom and use the V, so move it inside 1 pixel. Moving it down 1 pixel. Okay. And I do a rectangle again from here. No, Control D, Control Z. From here, I said, okay, Control Z, I need to remove those guides. So, snap. Okay, if it's not behaving, I have this 30, 30, and this is 1 pixel in and 1 pixel down. So I have that. Now the border is lighter, maybe, and the inside is 1.5 pixel. And why are you not behaving? Huh. Okay, the border is light, and there we go. This guy is the dark gray or black, maybe? No. That, and we got our highlight almost. This guy, I think I used wrong feathering inside 1.566. 1.5, yeah, here we go. 6, and that's that. Okay, so it's the normal. So file save as PNG. Editor, and we have node default somewhere. node back normal. So node back normal light. Yes. And now that I have this tool, I can make this, okay, and say file save as PNG, assets, Unity editor, resources, textures, editor, and that is our node back selected, light. Yes, replace it. Thank you. And for example, I can choose a line color and select it and save it as PNG, assets, node editor, resources, textures, editor, and we have node back active, light, and I will call it to magenta, and I will file save as the PNG, resources, textures, editor, and that's our, where is that? Node back error light, okay, and then I call this guy to be like this, but instead of 1 I will put it 21, so it's fill it, and I will call save as PNG, assets, node editor, resources, textures, editor, and that's node connection occupied if I find it. Connection node out active, light, okay, and then I changed this color again yet to orange, and I will save as PNG, assets, node editor, resources, textures, editor, PNG, and that is our node connected and active light. Okay, and I didn't change the opacity because this is just for showing. So node default is our node back light. Where is that? Node normal light. And I need to clear the list to show that properly. As you see, it's highlighted properly now. Okay. Node selected, it's replaced. Okay. And node connection normal is again node backlight. So that's that. Occupied is active light, and active is our active light. Okay, so bam, we have our light connections now. Of course, I need to work on the colors, but the only thing remaining is these guys, and these are really simple. All I need to do on top of this layer, and let me reduce that layer, on top of this layer, well, select layer, adjustment layer, brightness contrast, and I move the brightness to higher. Okay, so if I, for example, make this guy 100 and come back here, oh, it's not working. It's not working. It only works on this guy? No, it's not working. So remove that. Layer adjustment levels, I think. and remove, yeah, that will work. Okay, so something like that, and remove that guy to back to opacity 30. Save it as PNG, assets, node editor, resources, textures, editor, and we have this as our lower back. So it's light. Yeah. Write this one, open this one, save it. Inside assets, Unity, editor, resources, textures, editor, PNG. This is lower right. And the light version. Okay. That guy is upper left. PNG and upper left light and upper right light, and then center. So upper right light, and finally the center. It's PNG, and there is the center, and this is the light version on the center. Okay, so coming back, we have our lower left light, lower right light, and as you are doing it, you see that it's changing. It's almost the same color now. Okay, light, light, and the center is the center. Now that I'm set it, I can just come back and rewrite them. This is too much. This is too much. Or something like that. I need to make it 100 so that I can see the color. Yeah, then 30. One thing you could do, you could just change the opacity, you know. No, this is 100. This guy is 30. Not 300, god damn it. 30. Control Shift S. PNG. And if you want to be easy, you can go inside the resources, textures, editor, save this guy as PSD, and then start using PNGs. And this is the center light. Save. Yes. I will come back to check my color. Not yet. Oh, one thing I forgot. For the textures, all these light guys that are added like that, and we had the load or graph light and graph light over. These need to all be editor GUI point and 32 and true color, and apply. Okay, it's still not good. Oh, I didn't save it. Okay, okay, that's acceptable in my opinion. And save as PNG. This is upper left, upper right, There's that guy. Save. Yes. Okay. One thing you can do, you can select select the layer, and with your selection tool, right click and say stroke inside with a color of, for example, darker for 1 pixel. And okay. Did it work? It looks like so. Control Shift S. PNG. This is the upper left, upper right. And I will see it in the add node now. You see that it got a tiny border there. And stroke with completely black for maybe, I don't know, 2 pixels. Okay. Am I doing something wrong? Come on. Huh. Stroke, color, location is inside, blend normal, opacity. Oh, blasphemy. Blasphemy. Fill the color with something like, I don't know, this guy. Bam. And its opacity is that. We don't need this. Yeah, now it will work. Stroke with darker color. Okay. That's too much. Stroke with 1 pixel. Okay, Control Shift S. PNG. As you see, this GUI stuff designing is just back and forth coloring. Nothing special. But now you see that, okay? But I am seeing it inside. I don't want that. So Control Z and hit M. I need to deselect these guys from by hitting Alt here up to here, here up to here, from here to here, and I'm keeping 1 pixel border. Like that. That, okay? So, God damn it. Doing it again. Then from here to here, okay, to here. That, and that. Okay, now I can say stroke for me with 1 pixel inside. So I just get the border on the outside, okay? So Shift select PNG. This is the only one I'm doing. The rest can be done by yourselves. So if I come back, you see that I just get a tiny bit border outside. That's something that you may want to or you may not want to. It's up to you, you know. The easiest thing you could do is just reduce the opacity to, for example, 20. The easiest thing you could do. So 20. 20, 20, and 20. Then reduce all of these. Save as PNG. This is center light. Save, yes. Shift S. PNG. This is upper right. Yes. This is upper left. Yes. Lower right. And lower left. Coming back to Unity and seeing the result. Okay, it's too dark, maybe not. I'm happy with the coloring. If it's still too much for you, for example, most of the time I tweak one and I save it, and when I'm happy with the coloring, then I say, okay, this is the color I want. For example, maybe not. Just tweaking the colors now. Anyway, 15, PNG, that, save, yes, bam. Come back to Unity, take a look, compare. This should be okay. Okay, actually the 20 was good. 20, save for the one last time. So PNG, that guy, save, yes, and replace. And we have our editor, you know, it's light. The only thing that we want to do now is the coloring on the styles. So editor, light. For example, this color should be darker. And as I'm tweaking it, I'm looking at it, okay? 56, 56, okay. 56, 56, 56. No. 56. And we have our colors done. The only thing remaining is these two. So the nodes. Node graph buttons are okay. Node defaults. So again, maybe a bit darker. All the way to the, no. I think, yeah. But maybe this guy becomes 50. Yeah, that's better. All the way down, this guy becomes 50, so that we don't get any jump. And the connections are nothing to be cared about. So the only thing remaining is for me to sit down and tweak my nodes, the buttons on top. And I had done only one for you. Let's do it for the sake of simplicity. I don't need you. No. I don't need you. No. And here, none of you two. I want my light being below, right being below, F, testing it, cool. So Control Shift S, and again I will save it inside the asset folder. This helps for two things. One, makes my job easier for saving stuff like this. I hit PNG and I'm inside the folder. Second, I'm keeping the folder. So F, that is dark and that is light. So light, yes, activate the over, PNG, this is the over, light, then plus, and we have the PNG. Where's the plus button? Here. Light. Not Pixar. PNG. And light over. There we go. Then we have other icons. This was the load. And I had to change the coloring for that, and I think I need to change the coloring for this one too. So image adjustments, levels, make it darker, please, like that. Okay, and is the over active? Yeah. Ah, not that one. Oh no, Control Z, Control Z. I was wondering why it's not working like that. Okay, so image adjustment levels. No, there we go. Now it's darkening. Something like that maybe. And Control Shift S, PNG, and this is the new node. Dark. Wait. If I make it hard light, yeah, it's showing much better. No, hard lighting is good. Control Shift S. Shift S, come on. PNG. Light. And the overload. Shift S. PNG. Light. Okay. Make it darker. And hard light, soft light, no hard light. Linear light, and how about darken? Darken or vivid light? Vivid light, I would say. A good way to actually see what you are doing is just zooming back. This is your button, okay? So this is vivid light, this is darker color. No, vivid light or linear. So linear, vivid, linear, linear. Okay, save as PNG. This is this, so light, and we activate the over. We save it as PNG, as this guy, but light. Okay. The final one should behave nicely, yeah. So without it, go Shift S, PNG, and that's this guy, so light and over. Now you may say that these guys are close to each other, but trust me, they are not when you look them inside Unity. Light. Okay. Finally, we activate this guy, and we save 2 more. PNG, and that is, where's that? Here for light. There we go. And Control S, PNG. Dark over, and it become light over. There we go. So no, not saving anymore. We come here. We have our buttons, new graph, and I will move it so that we can see new graph light, and it's over. Is the light over? So we got it. Now the separator, I'm using view back normal dark. I will use normal light, and it suddenly behaves. Okay, so this is command show it will you unload current graph. So unload light, and the hover state is light. There we go. And the next one is the clear. Then we have delete. And it's over. Then we have the float, light, and over. And finally we have the add. Of course, between the 2 iterations I need to add more buttons for, I don't know, multiply, divide, some other stuff. So that's our GUI now, completely done. The color of gray, orange is good. This gray, you may want to change it to a darker, for example, and it should be done inside the code now. So opening Visual Studio, and it's inside Draw Connections. Not here in base node base. When we are drawing the connection, where is that? Draw connections. Here we are using a connection color of gray. So the color here is gray. Okay. I will say, where was that code for getting the skin? I already forgot the check mark that we were using. Not here. Use. No, it should be here. No, okay. Work here. No, view base. Oh, view base. So I want this guy. If it's pro. So inside node base, we will say, is it pro? And if it's pro, then color of gray. Otherwise, let's see what we have. Black, blue, gray, and gray. What are these? So coming back, I never noticed that one. I didn't see any change. Interesting. Color dot. Gray, black, blue, clear, cyan, gray, green, magenta. So we only have black. Let's go with black. Why not? So we have a connection like that. Okay. If it's too harsh for you, we can say new color of I don't know 0.8 f comma that. And it's white now. Meh, white will work for me if you ask me. That's a good color. So if I come back to preferences, as soon as I change my preferences to professional, this guy will behave. But the nodes are not behaving. Why is that? Well, the reason is that the nodes interface is designed at the creation of the node base. Okay. Can we behave it? Make it behave? So at the start of everything, get editor skin. Oh, okay. We are checking if it's null. Well, guess what? We can do it always, but this will call resources.load time and time again. So I'm not happy with that. And it's behaving now, okay? So if I go to personal now, it behaves. If I go to professional, it behaves. But problem here is that we are constantly each frame reading a resource. So instead of all of that, I will go inside node utility. Oh, I won't be able to read the editor stuff here, I think. Am I seeing it in here? Node utility. No, I don't see it. So I will make two privates. Private GUI skin, and I will call it dark skin. Okay, and private GUI skin, and I will call it light skin. In here, I will check. Actually, now that I think about it, instead of putting it inside nodes, better place for it would be the node graph itself. So inside node graph, they will be public, but they will be non-serialized fields, okay? Because if you make it public, then Unity will serialize them, and you need to flag them as non-serialized. There we go. So when we are initializing it, we call this method get editor skin from there inside node graph. We move then get editor skin from here. Where's that guy? Control X inside node graph when we are doing editor stuff. So boom, boom at the end, and then we say we load both of them. So we call what? That was dark skin, and we need to load both of them, and light skin. In update, however, we are checking if it's pro or not at the start here, and I totally lost that one. Where was it? View base. There. We check if we are pro, then we say node skin equals to parent graph dot dark skin, else we say node skin equals to parent graph dot light skin. And because we already checked that parent graph is not null, it will be safe. Okay, so we are initializing it. Okay, so we now basically need to delete this graph. And what is there? Get editor skin in current context. Where? Node base. I forgot to save the node base. Oh no. Okay. Initialize. We don't need that. So here, we need to create the graph from scratch. So test, create, and add a float node, add an add node, and if I come back to personal, oh, what the heck? Null reference exception. Here, node default, node selected, they are the same. Interesting. So what is going on here? Non-serialized, huh? Make them serialized. Why not? Let's see if it will work now. So, of course, I need to close this guy, and it won't behave until I comment this guy. Oh. Okay. RPG, node editor, launch editor. Close this window, will you? No, it won't. So I need to comment the whole thing, and I don't like that. Meh. Comment. So that this stuff should behave now. Okay. And did we lost our nodes? Delete. Yes. Close. Uncomment the whole thing. Save. Clear. Launch editor. So create a graph calling test, create, and my database test. I'm seeing the skins, float node, an add node, make it professional, and now it's behaving. Okay. And going back to personal. Now that's behaving. Okay, the only reason was that I was marking these guys as non-serialized. Okay, so that's that. Also, here in view base, I think Okay, no, we can't do that because in view base, unfortunately, we have the current graph, but in construction, the current graph can be null. So yeah, we need this scheme like that. Okay, anyway, I was trying to see if I can get it from view scheme anyway, the graph itself. But long story short, now we have our nodes and they are behaving properly with our styles of the editor. Okay, so it was more about the styling. It became a 1 hour video. Wow, I thought it was a simple video. Anyway, yeah. So until the next series on this guy, I will leave you guys to add some more nodes if you want. I will add them myself later, but with some tweaks. So by the way, between this iteration and next iteration, I may have a mini series, and in that mini series I may start working on a utility system, and we will add to that utility system time and time again. So we may want to be careful. That utility system will work on different things. It's a bunch of stuff that I add on top of each other. For example, stuff for reflections, stuff for binary converting, and other stuff. Until the next episode, have fun everyone. Bye-bye.